The Edmonton Oilers have the best power play in the NHL. It's producing at a 30% clip, which is excellent. 2 years ago, the Oilers had the worst power play in the league. It was producing at just half the success rate. Consider that last year, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best regular season team in the NHL in 2018-19, had a 28.2% conversion rate on the power play. How are today's Oilers able to score on 1 in 3 chances? It all starts with number 97, Connor McDavid.
He's their weapon. He can skate it into the other team's end, stick handle, and then stick handle around people in the offensive end on the power play and pass it to, usually to Draisaitl, and then he passes it back and stuff. Once the puck's in the other team's end, it's almost like a 3-on-3. They just pass it around until somebody's in the open. They have skill enough players that the passes don't go awry and the team can't get the puck down the ice.
They have so many threats on that power play now because Oscar Klefbom can shoot the pucks. You can't leave him alone at the blue line. And even if he doesn't score from the blue line, he creates a lot of chances and creates a lot of opportunities for guys like James Neal to pick up those rebounds. And then you have Connor McDavid who can make that cross-seam pass and basically cut it across the box, the defensive box, and create that opportunity for Leon Draisaitl. It's basically kind of like the Washington Capitals have that one play where they set up Alex Ovechkin and they kind of pass the puck around and wait for that opening, and Ovechkin takes that one time. The Oilers have that, but they also have another threat with the net front presence. They have a threat with a shot from the point, and then they have a threat with Connor McDavid who can beat anyone one-on-one in any situation, and he can, as they say, he can stick handle in a phone booth. So you really have to be careful, and you always have to, when you play Connor McDavid on the power play, you always have to have support, and that kind of opens up other lanes.
You have to go back to the 1980s to find any team with something close to what the Oilers have reached this season. They include the then powerhouse Calgary Flames, and yes, the Wayne Gretzky-led Oilers. Still, you have to go back more than 40 years to find when the 30% mark was last broken, by the New York Islanders in 1978-79. The Oilers have made a few roster changes over the last couple of years. All NHL teams do. But the addition of James Neal in a trade with the Flames for Milan Lucic has paid big dividends. That and the continuing development of their own players have put the Oilers in the position they are right now on the power play.
James Neal is a power play guy. He's a guy that's not afraid to stand in front of the net, and he's a guy that can score those kind of greasy goals in front of the net. He's the guy that can finish off those plays. I think right now the Oilers have all the aspects of a power play that you need. You need a net front presence, which they have in James Neal. You need some guy that control the power play off the wall, which they do have in Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. You need a pretty good point guy, which they have in Oscar Klefbom.
I think the Oilers' retrieval is quite good when they lose the puck on the power play. They tend to be able to get the puck back, and once they get it, then they're getting it back to people with skill to make another pass and not throw it away. I think the retrieval is strong when the puck goes wide of the net and they get the puck back, better than maybe it was a couple of years ago as well.
Besides, the Oilers don't really have a second power play unit, and they don't really need to, at least 30% of the time, as McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins et al. Log big minutes, never mind their efficiency rates.
I think it's the personnel they have. I think the personnel has just got more comfortable. It's the same players. I just think teams haven't figured it out yet. They can watch it on tape, but it's not the same thing. Now, if you play a team in the playoffs 7 times, I'm sure they'll be watching that Oiler power play and say, okay, how can we stop these guys? We only play them once every couple of weeks, once a month, or even worse than that. It's tough to figure out a team's power play. And as a visiting team coach, say, here's how we're going to stop it, because it just doesn't work.
And you look at the caliber of those players that they have. Like, the Oilers don't have a second unit, one, because they usually don't need one. They get the power play, whatever the first unit does. They create all the chances. But when you have talent like that and they're able to read plays on the ice, and I think the power play is all about taking advantage when things break down defensively. And I think when you get teams chasing around and when you get someone out of position, I think the Oilers are really good with those guys on the ice of identifying what player is out of position and then exposing that spot. And I think whether it's the guy covering Klefbom at the point, or whether it's the guy at the side of the net, or whether it's someone in front, I think they really do a good job of recognizing where the advantage is, and they take advantage of it. And when you have skilled players like Nugent-Hopkins, like Neal, like McDavid, like Draisaitl, that's going to happen. I think that's what they do best, is that they really kind of play on the fly, and they don't really kind of set up set plays. They just look to expose the opponents when they kind of get out of position.